I did my graduate work in virology, studying human cytomegalovirus, which is a pathogenic virus which infects human beings. And what I did during my graduate research was to construct a cDNA library of the human cytomegalovirus. And this was something that I did with folks in my lab, and it was a very tedious process of constructing the cDNA library. We used Sanger sequencing, which is an older sequencing method, and assembled the reads kind of semi-manually using tools which were freely available. And the whole process took a really long time. So as a scientist, I had very less time to really look at the data and glean meaning out of it, but I spent a lot of time in just assembling the data together. But there was a great outcome of the research, because from that we found that in the human cytomegalovirus, there's an abundance of non-coding RNAs. At that time, it was thought that the coding potential is from just the protein coding genes. So it was a paradigm-shifting kind of revelation, which was a result of my PhD research. So then, once I went through all this, I realized that we need something more than this kind of manual approaches to really, come up with these kind of discoveries in science. So that's when I moved into IT. And in my role at Monsanto in IT initially, I did actually work on bringing in really state-of-the-art sequence alignment and assembly programs into Monsanto and integrating it with our internal applications, and that really helps scientists in the lab. So now fast forward to 2017, I lead the IT platform for labs all across Monsanto, and our customers are people like me who were in the lab back in the day. So they're so I really understand what they're looking for. They're really trying to look at data which is generated from different kinds of instruments in the lab, sequencing data, which is just with next-gen sequencing. There's a lot of increase in the volumes of data which is generated, and for a human being to put it all together and make meaning out of it is really difficult. So now we are trying with our IT platform to help scientists, to make meaning out of the data that they are generating. So I think that's how I'm able to relate and empathize with scientists. At Monsanto, our goal in IT is to digitize Monsanto. That itself is our mission statement. And we have, in order to do that all across Monsanto, we have now done a big restructuring of the IT organization into capability platforms. So earlier we were organized by business units, but now we are organized by capabilities. So anything related to work in labs, research, testing, all these operations are now under one platform. And that's a real advantage, because the needs or the capabilities are same, whether you're a lab in the supply chain or whether you're a lab in R&D. So that's one aspect of what we are doing in our digitization journey. The other aspect is to really bring the new technologies and innovation into the lab. So here we are in 2017, where we see disruption in the technology industry by the likes of Google and Amazon, who are really changing the user experience. For example, Amazon and how you really buy stuff. Everyone uses Amazon Prime, and it's such a frictionless kind of experience. So we're trying to use technologies, the modern technologies, and bring that into the labs too for the lab scientists. Why should they be using smartphones outside the lab but not inside as they're doing their work? And in order to do that, again, back to our IT operating model, we're again focused on capabilities which are specific for the lab. We have human-centric design of the products that we develop internally. And also when we're looking at third-party products, we're looking at that aspect of it and focusing more on the end user and their experience. So that's part of how we are changing and innovating at Monsanto. I would say, all the technologies that we hear about in the technology space, social, mobile, analytics, cloud, IoT, I think all of them have a role in, the impact on our labs. And one area where we see that there's a lot of need in the labs is the space, collaboration space, where at Monsanto, we are doing a lot of collaborative research, and we are using external sources of discovery of products, collaborating with startups and such. The other area of collaboration in the labs is where we work with CROs to do testing externally. In both these cases, there's a need for exchange of data, a very seamless and smooth exchange of data. And that's where we see some aspects of social and other, where I think that's where the next real impact will be in enabling that kind of collaboration.